Hello YouTube, this is Jay the Reviewer, here to cover some very minor modifications you can do to 86 Ravage to drastically improve his articulation. Now, starting out, all you need for most of this are these, and there's some tiny tabs I recommend using an X-Acto blade on, but I'll cover that when we get there. The first thing I did was I recommend rounding off these corners here. They're only corner shaped for tape mode, but removing those corners let you bend the knee, those rear knees, fully back, which this seems very minor, but that drastically improves articulation. The next thing that'll drastically improve articulation are, there's usually a set of tabs there. I'd recommend snipping them off, because they do not help hold the tape mode together at all, because these rear legs, if you look, there's a port and a tab right there. They tab in, so literally removing those tabs serves no purpose because they exist to help line up the legs, but they get in the way of a lot of articulation, so I just recommend getting rid of them. The next thing I recommend removing is, yep, it's on this side. See how there's this track cut in between the hinge and the leg? Normally that limits the rotation from here to here. And this also fuses the neck joint to the shoulder, which sucks. But if you cut off that small tab in there, and this is what I recommend, the X-Acto, here it is, where is it? Here it is. This for, guess what? You can now rotate the shoulders a full 360, and the neck joint is now fully independent of shoulder movement. And the last modification I recommend is, normally this is a sharp corner, I recommend rounding it off. And the reason for that is, if I get this guy fully transformed, you can see that yes, you can now get way more articulation out of the back legs. And doing the correct ortho transformation like this, guess what? You don't have to have the shoulders locked 90 degrees to the head like this anymore. You can now bring them forward to do more dynamic poses, and without the tab back here, bring them backwards to do, like I said, just some more dynamic poses. Yeah, let me get the full picture in play. There we go. See, you can now do some more dynamic poses, just like this guy, where it could move the legs back and the shoulders forward. You can do the same basic poses, but where this guy now elevates above this guy, especially if you round these corners off, you gain access to this motion, which seems very minor, but if you bend this knee fully in and mess with some positions of stuff, like bring this slightly farther back, bring this back in, bring this out, ta-da, you can now create some very dynamic prowling poses for Ravage where all four paws are on the ground. And you can mess with this to get better. This is just a quick one. Let's see. Just move this up slightly. Four paws are still on the ground. Get him to look up a bit more. There we go. Look, you can now get some cool, like he's about to prowl and attack Autobots around. Like, these just minor additional poses do so much for him. So yeah, those four minor changes, just removing the tab that limits shoulder rotation, rounding off these back knees, What was the last one? Oh yeah, rounding off these corners here really do help increase all of Ravage's articulation a whole lot. So yeah, just some simple modifications for you to consider that can drastically improve 86 Ravage. Thank you for your time.